entire 40 minutes.
It's only the 7th meeting all time between UAB and Temple. Last time they saw each other was in the championship game of the American. UAB ended Temple's dream season after the Owls had 4 wins in 4 days to make it to the championship game. Lindenborg going to work, hits it into the paint and shares it to Christian Coleman. Late possession for UAB in the 3 off the mark. Alejandro Vasquez, who's back in the starting lineup for the 2nd consecutive game. Meanwhile, Temple dealing with some injuries today. Zion Stanford will run the point. He's essentially, over the course of the season, the 4th-string point guard. And he takes it all the way in, but leaves it short. No Jamal Mashburn Jr., 2nd in the nation in scoring. And Quante Berry is not expected to play today for Temple either. He suffered a finger injury. Here's Tobias and pulls for a deep 2. And on the glass is Tony. One of more wins as a Blazer than anybody else in school history. Vasquez dumps it down low. The ball movement by UAB, a UAB team coming at it after a tight win Wednesday on the road in Houston against Rice. Lindenborg got it.
Nice hard drive to his right. Way to attack for Yaxel Lindenborg.
Temple dropped an overtime game to Charlotte on Wednesday. Owls played 4 overtime games in a 7-game span.
Well, that's a great job by UAB with the defensive help. They know Stanford loves to be a downhill driver, get to the rim. Yes, he can pull up from mid-range, but he really wants to get to the cup. Good job bringing that help over.
AK on the prowl took his team to the NCAA tournament first round in Spokane last year after winning the conference tournament in Fort Worth. Loose ball in the corner right in front of the UAB coach, and then he coughs it up, and it's picked back up by Temple, but a step on the sideline. So UAB basketball, a little sloppy here early on.
It was. Shows you the good deflection here by the big man, and then as they go to save it, I was a little surprised that didn't go back to Temple. Yet UAB comes up with it.
Temple showing some zone look. Here's Lindenborg on the cut. Kicks in the corner. Tony got it.
We've already shown what a mismatch nightmare Lindenborg could be. He can do it off the bounce to get all the way to the rack. We saw him the deflection on one end of the court, and that time they played through him to get the corner 3, already impacting all 5 points for UAB.
Here's Shane Dezzoni with a pull-up jumper. Followed his own miss to keep it alive. Nobody blocked him out. A jump ball, and the possession arrow keeps it this direction.
You think about all the attention that Lindenborg gets in the post, and when he gets the ball, there's so much attention on him that it can lead to open 3-point shooters. Both these teams are very capable from 3. They don't shoot a ton of them, but they do have some pretty good shooters on the wing. This is a Temple team that's first in conference play at 40% from 3, despite not taking a ton of them.
Aiden Tobias gets fouled on his way up, and he'll go to the free throw line.
I really like this young freshman. This is a guy that was the Delaware State Player of the Year at St. Elizabeth High School. Kind of a catch and stick 3 guy, rangy athlete, showing you he can get to the free throw line, which is something you must do in this Temple system, and point of emphasis this offseason for Coach Fisher.
Adam Fisher in his 2nd season as a head man at Temple. What a miraculous run they had last year. Going to be the 3rd team in college basketball history to win 5 games in 5 days at a conference tournament. NC State did that and then made its way all the way to the Final 4 last year. Kemba and UConn with the team prior. Tobias goes 2 for 2. UAB scores 83.7 points per game. They turn it over here. They don't turn it over very often. Right at 10 per game.
Temple mixing in some of that zone, caught UAB off guard on that offensive set.
Stanford with the step through, and he got a foul on Coleman, I believe. They'll count the bucket, and Christian Coleman commits his first.
And we see Temple already getting to the line. They want to initiate contact. Great pivot players down low. You've got to stay down on pump fakes if you're UAB. This is a Temple team that ranks 4th nationally in free throws made per game at 19.6. So that's a big key to their offense. You must defend without fouling if you're the opponent.
Zion Stanford with the three-point play. Now we're tied at 5. Luxembourg, great assist man too, as they get it to him at the high post. And he's fouled. Babatunde Grodola commits his first.
He's really a patient player in the post. We saw another guy, kind of similar style game, Janai Broome at Auburn the other day. They want to get the ball in the middle of a zone, let him be a playmaker, whether it's as a scorer or a driver, getting to the line, just a patient point center type mentality. What a luxury it is to have a big man that you can get the ball to in the middle of a zone.
He is third in the country in double-doubles. Last time out, he put up 21 and 14 in the win at Rice. Temple going to the bench early. They're going to have to go deep into the bench in this one today due to injuries. Mohamed Keita in the game for the first time. 1 of 2 from the line for Lindenborg, who's a 76% free throw shooter. Nearly stolen by Tony. Stanford pull up mid-range. Got it.
He loves that spot. Anywhere on the court that he can be between the paint and the three-point line, he's extremely comfortable with.
Shooting 52% on those mid-range jumpers inside of 17 feet. Lindenborg, beautiful pass on the cut, but no finish for Jabari McGee. And here's Temple the other way.
May have made that more difficult than it needed to be.
Nobody stops the ball, and Zion Stanford has 7 for Temple.
We mentioned him being a downhill driver and mid-range player, and he has been off to a great start coming off that career-high performance. He's in his zone right now for Temple.
Lindenborg, short corner. They bring Settle onto him. Now Coleman says, why not? Mid-range. First bucket for Christian Coleman.
See Andy Kennedy mixing up some defenses on this end of the court. Something you must be prepared for. And again, Temple short-handed in the backcourt. Not a true natural point guard. They got to be able to handle these different defenses that Andy Kennedy's going to throw at you.
Lindenborg and Coleman harass Dezzoni. He's able to get it inside for Keita with a jam.
Well, Dezzoni looked off the defense with his eyes. That was a sneaky no-look pass to the big man cutting down the paint. Great feed by 55.
It's an 11-3 Temple run. Vasquez keeps it alive with a punch out. And Tony for 3. Another second triple of the game for Tony. Didn't have a 3 in the game against Rice on Wednesday. And here's UAB with a chance to push coming the other way. Lindenborg off the glass. And tipped off the rim back to Settle. Settle off the window.
Number 2, Settle.
Patrick, thank you. I'd like to welcome those of you who watch North Texas knock off USF 64-57. Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. Temple and UAB in a rematch of the American Athletic Conference Championship game last year. This is only the 7th meeting all time between the two basketball programs. Here's Tony. He is red hot early, and it's his 3rd 3 in the first 6 minutes.
Well, he has been dynamite from that corner. We've seen 2 off the catch in the corner, and then that one, a 41% three-point shooter on the year, averages 8 a game, already has 9.
Didn't make a single 3 in his last game. Got 3 of them already. It's a Temple team playing shorthanded. They're without Jamal Mashburn Jr., 2nd leading scorer in the country. He continues to be hampered by a turf toe injury. And now Steve Settle the 3rd and a shot clock violation.
Scorer in the country was healthy and playing in those games. They were 6-4 in those 6 points or less. But it's been tough to close out games when you don't have your go-to guy down the stretch. He's out with that turf toe. Can he get back in 100% for the conference tournament, as Temple's got something to play for as well?
Here's Jackson Lindenborg with a kick out. And off the back of the rim that time for Butta Johnson, but an offensive rebound. And so Moore will pull. And that's off the mark. By the way, I mentioned Mashburn 2nd in the country in scoring. Villanova's Eric Dixon leads the nation with 23 points a game. And They're really missing a lot with Mashburn. He'd played some point guard. Originally, they thought Lynn Greer III would be at point. Here's Stanford inside, and a jump ball before a foul, and it'll give it to UAB. But bottom line, without Jamal Mashburn Jr., without Quante Berry, this is a Temple team essentially down to its fourth point guard. That puts a lot of pressure on Zion Stanford.
And Mashburn is a guy that is trying to come back. He came back sparingly a couple games ago, out again, so they're just trying to get him 100%, knowing there's a bigger picture at stake. And if he can come back, boy, is this going to be a team that's way better than their seed in the conference tournament.
Talon Moore splashes down a three.
Well, I think if you're Temple, you say, hey, we're playing some zone, and we've made UAB shoot over half of their shots from three. That's a good thing. The bad thing is they've got to get out there and contest better, because 4 of 7 from deep for the Blazers.
Nearly stolen away. And it rolls home.
Nice job by Latif getting in there, initiating that contact, and trying to take advantage. This is a big Temple team, and I think they feel like, hey, we've got some size on the UAB guards. If we can get in there, we can shoot over the top, draw some contact. Again, we said it to start the show. This is a Temple team that is 4th in the country at getting 19.6 points a game from the free throw line. So they rely on it heavily as part of their offense. And that was really an offseason takeaway for Coach Fisher. He said, look, we're a three-point shooting team. That's going to open up driving lanes. Let's drive closeouts and see if we can't get to the free throw line more often. Mission accomplished.
He's in his second season that's at the helm of Temple. Little floater doesn't go. And it's rebounded by Matteo Piccarelli, who gives him fewer than 8 minutes a game. Nobody stops the ball, and Dezzoni takes it all the way to the rim. You cannot be happy about that if you're Andy Kennedy.
No, not at all. Mass confusion. Guys staring at each other right now.
Temple missed its first 4 shots since then. The Owls 7 of 9. And the zone has been wildly effective.
Yeah, with Lindenborg out, can Coleman be that playmaker in the high post?
Tony can't do it again. Made his on the road at Colorado at 11 o'clock Eastern. Now, UAB got off to a quick start. Temple went to the zone, and that really stymied things for the Blazers offense. Here's Coleman with no Lindenberg on the floor, and Christian Coleman cashes in.
Really nice job of attacking. It looks like Temple was trying to show man on the out of bounds and then switch back to zone, and they were a little bit delayed covering up that middle.
Easier to switch from zone to man or man to zone?
Yeah, I'd say zone to man.
Little bump in the finish by Zion Stanford, who's taken over this game, coming off of a career high 26 in the close loss Wednesday at Charlotte. He played also career high 39 minutes.
Yeah, he's been great to start this game.
So think about Temple from a personnel standpoint, mixing up, playing a lot of zone, and doing it with guys who haven't been on the floor together much this season, especially relative to the typical starting 5. And on the wing, Steve Settle III got his hands on it, but couldn't get the tick away. 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Stanford's been super aggressive for Temple. This is a guy that loves to be a downhill driver. He's good from mid-range, so you got to respect the pull-up jumper, and that helps open up things for him getting to the cup as well.
Shot clock now at 3. Johnson fires. And Tony with the tip. Second opportunity, third chance. Got it. Tony's in a double figures already with 11.
Has he come to play? This guy's just a heck of an athlete. He's had a bounce in and pop in his step ever since the ball got tipped off.
That'll go around as a Blazer. He's been part of a school record 118 wins. Settle downhill, uses his length. Back-to-back bucket for Steve Settle III.
I mean, only 2 of the 15 attempts for Temple have been from 3. You can tell they have a conscious effort to say, let's get to the rim, get to the paint, try to win this game inside.
Coleman again, 6'9" senior from Winsboro, Louisiana. Now Shane Dezzoni is helping run the point. He started his career at Vanderbilt. And nothing from the wing on that 3 ball from Zion Stanford.
That's not what's been working. It's settling too early.
McGee fouled, and they'll count it.
See, I think that's what happens when you take an unpredictable shot for your team, a quick early three, and you go away from the game plan just for one possession. Oftentimes it leads to buckets on the other end, and UAB doesn't push tempo too much. They're opportunistic, though, and certainly have the athletes to do it. McGee, one of the best athletes you'll see on the floor.
McGee was a standout football player in high school. He was honorable mention All-State as a wide receiver coming out of Winfield, Alabama. And McGee's got a three-point play.
We asked him earlier this season. I said, is it right 44-inch vertical? He said 45.
Yeah. My man.
Don't cheat me on that one. As if there's anything more you can do. 45 inches in there that you can't do at 44.
Temple has turned it up. Owls have made 9 of their last 12. Settle from way deep. Why not? Steve Settle the third. He's takes 47% of his shots from deep. It was way deep on that one.
That's the exact percentage he's also connecting on in conference play. This guy has really put the work in the offseason to go from a average shooter to a great one.
Coleman gets it inside to McGee. Here's Lindeborg, leading scorer. And Lindeborg, who's 6th in the league at 18 a game, is able to get it in there. He's got 18 double-doubles. That's 3rd in all of college basketball.
Nice cut, nice pass. Too easy if you're Temple. That's all day easy money.
After the baseline drive by Dezoning, he gets caught. Stanford open. Rebound and a push ahead. Here's Coleman. Two-hand jam for Christian Coleman.
And I think that's part of not having a true point guard in the game. Point guard shoots. Who's going to get back when the point guard shoots? Because he's got his follow-through going on. Nobody does for Temple.
5-point advantage is the largest lead of the game for UAB. Matching it. They scored the first 5 this game. Stanford penetrates and kicks it out to Tobiasen.
I just don't understand right now. They've taken 4 consecutive threes when it's been paint touches that have been working for them.
Great. And playing patty cake at the rim. Missed 3 bunnies. Lindeborg with a dump off for Johnson, but he wasn't there. Axel Lindeborg says, I'll shoot it. They keep it alive again. Here's Tony. He's done it again. Tony. Their home court, 2-7 on the road. And it seems like Temple is always in close games. And that's exasperated by the fact that Jamal Mashburn Jr. is out for the 3rd consecutive game. Tried to come back a couple times, and Adam Fisher was very complimentary about Mashburn's work ethic, trying to get healthy and get back on the floor. A couple of tips, and Tobiasen fouled on the last one. They had to put Aiden Tobiasen at the free throw line.
Much better job not settling from 3, keeping this game on the interior for Temple. I think that's where they can win this one. But going back to your point about the situational stuff, as we take another look at them crashing the glass, giving the Blazers a taste of their own medicine as UAB comes in as the top 5 offensive rebounding team in the country. But Coach Fisher told us, he said, look, like a lot of coaches, we practice situational end of game stuff in practice. But we always knew kind of we're trying to get the ball to Mashburn here or there. Now it's a game by game thing, like who's hot for us and who's not, who's closing the game out for us versus who's on the bench. And so it makes closing those games out and the play calling that much more difficult on the staff and the team.
Certainly less predictable. That was the second, by the way, on Christian Coleman. And Tobiasen goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. It's been an up and down game for Temple already. Missed their first 4, then 9 of 11, and just 1 for their last 7. They bring the zone back. Jabari McGee is able to drive as Awiru gives it to Vasquez. You would think a guy like Lindeborg with his passing skills would carve up a zone, but he's not been entirely effective. Tobiasen out front, tried to shake, dumps it off for Zion Stanford off the glass.
I mean, I think they've really found an opportunity to say, hey, we've got big, tall guards. You've got athletic ones, and they're strong, but we've got a height advantage down low. You typically talk about a height advantage with your bigs. But in this case, I think it's the perimeter players for Temple.
Tony has his shot blocked. Here comes Temple the other way. 3-on-2. Piccarelli wants it. And it gets knocked away from Settle. Here comes Lindeberg the other way. Coast to coast with a 6'9" senior.
I mean, there are not many big guys that can go that fast, that strong, and then at the end of the play, slow down enough to have that much touch and grace at the end of the finish.
Well, a few times you won't see Andy Kennedy with a play call. He gives Lindeberg freedom to run the court. Just settle. Step back, 18-footer. Lindeberg kept it alive as Awiru gets tied up and threw it away. Just a second turnover of the game for UAB.
Take a look at Lindeberg here and how he's able to just push up the court. He's able to get the defender off him and still have that soft touch. Just really talented player.
$18 points and 11 boards a game with 2 blocks, 1.5 steals, and nearly 4 assists. Andy Kennedy mixes up the defenses on the fly. Result there is a block shot. Tony lob. Oh, left it just short for Jabari McGee, who's got a massive vertical at 6'1". And I get another chance at it. Threads the needle as Awiru blocked. Huge recovery by Babatunde Girodola. What an effort for Temple. UAB leads the American in fast break points, but they fail to convert on 2 opportunities. 3 balls short. Another chance to push for the Blazers. Here's McGee. And now they'll set something up. And a touch inside, run through Fort Worth. And his first reaction was, and I didn't get any sleep.
Yeah. 4 games, 4 days to get to that point, and Andy Kennedy said, hey, we're chopping up film of FAU, knowing we're going to probably face them in the championship game. I had the TV on, wasn't paying too much attention. I kept looking up and I saying, you know what? I think Temple's going to win this thing. I got to change my scouting report.
Butta Johnson had the block and then nearly backcourt, and it was. Just took a second for the whistle.
Some good rim protection as they get the inside touch, but denied by UAB.
Butta Johnson, 6'4" leaper. Preseason second team all AAC. Temple hanging in there. Despite being shorthanded on this Sunday afternoon. We've yet to see point guard Quante Berry, and Jamal Mashburn Jr. didn't make the trip. Still trying to fight back from his turf toe injury. Here's Dezzoni. Former Vanderbilt Commodore with the pull-up. Got his own miss back. 2 pump fakes and the foul. 7th offensive rebound of the game for Temple.
Well, they wanted to try to pump fake Lindeberg, try to get him in the air. It looked to me like he did bite on this pump fake, but did he go straight up? Gosh, that's a tough one for UAB.
So Shane Dezzoni at the free throw line, 6'4" senior. Coming up at 4 Eastern on ESPN, Flau'jae Johnson and number 7 LSU square off against Georgia Amore, and the 14th ranked Kentucky team back in the win column for midweek victory. That's at historic Memorial Coliseum, the refurbished Memorial Coliseum in Lexington. Dezzoni knocks the second one down. Well, Temple is not shooting the ball well, just 1 for its last 13. They do as good a job as anybody in the American and get points from the free throw line. Feed and finish as we roll.
That's a terrific set play against the zone by Andy Kennedy. They just swing it side to side. Lindeberg's going to take a bunch of attention up top, and Azuero's just going to bury his man down low. Expects it on time, on target, and one.
So Bradley Azuero to the free throw line. That was a second on Zoni. And it's got to be something that the Temple coaching staff has to keep a close eye on, with 2 men short in the backcourt. Azuero, who started his college career at LSU, then went to Georgetown and then to St. Louis. And Andy Kennedy, when he got him, took note of the coaching history at each of those schools. Azuero was at LSU for the final year of Will Wade, at Georgetown for the final year of Patrick Ewing, and at St. Louis for the final year of head coach Travis Ford. And AK said, listen, we're not having that happen here, okay? I want you on the roster,
yeah,
but I can't just get run off just because this is a trend for you.
Yep.
Zion Stanford puts it on the floor, gets another pump fake. Azuero with the rebound.
And Temple has tried to mix up coverages on UAB, but keep in mind, this is the #1 offense in the conference. They've scored over 99 times this season. That's the most since the 1990-91. So UAB just very balanced on the offensive end.
This is a veteran UAB team. Brought Lindenborg back, brought Tony back again. Hunter Johnston couldn't finish. Throw up close. He had 17 in the second half. Wednesday's win on the road at Tudor Fieldhouse against Rice.
He was huge. Hit 2 big-time threes off the same set play call. Wheeling around to the right side, wing 3. They don't win that game without him.
Stanford with the drive and a kick. Piccarelli gives it up. Tony nearly stole it. Shot clock at 5. Settle to Piccarelli. And it's kept alive by Stanford. But it'll go back to UAB. Temple has missed 14 of its last 15 shots. Shooting just 34% in this first half. If it wasn't for the run where they went 9 of 11, they'd be in big trouble. Here's Lindenborg. And a big time block as Tony got rejected. Lindenborg now puts it on the floor, finds Azuero.
Well, Tom, I think Tony turned down the open 3 that's been so good to him to start that possession. He's got 4 threes. He's been the difference in the game. I think he needs to take that one.
Another uncontested drive. Steve Settle III, who transferred in from Howard 2 years ago, has really blossomed in a great score for this Temple team, giving them 12 a game.
Yeah, just 180 pounds, but he's slithery.
Tyron Moore for 3. His second triple. Back to a 9-point lead. 6 of 13 from deep for UAB. So they get it into Settle's hand. Sanford cut off. 8 to shoot. Settle picked up by McGee. 5 to shoot. Fade away off 1 foot. Air ball. Shot clock is off. An opportunity for UAB. Cross court to Tony. Into the corner for Johnson. 11 seconds left. Still an opportunity for the Blazers off the offensive rebound. Now 5 and a timeout taken.
The man, you can get some looks for him in an ISO, or he's such a good facilitator.
Piccarelli with a foul.
Now with certainly less than 5 on the clock, got to figure out what can you draw up that's a little bit quicker of a play. Still fouls to give for Temple. So if you want to run the risk, you might try to hoist a 3 real quick, get fouled on the shot if you anticipate him fouling.
I don't know if Temple can afford to have guys pick up intentional fouls with the lack of depth. But Piccarelli with the reach in with 2.6, and Moore tried to get the shot out quickly. They were expecting to be without Jamal Mashburn Jr. today, and that is the case. But Quante Berry, though not officially a scratch, is unavailable for this one. 2.6 left. Quickly inbounds, Vasquez. And that's how the Apple team. 4 overtime games, including a pair of double overtime games. They won the OT games against East Carolina and South Florida. to start the month. Here's Stanford. Gets all the way into the block but can't finish, and Lenneborg with the rebound. Blazers like to run. Tony off the curl finds Lenneborg. Beautiful share, and Yaxel Lenneborg yaks it down.
A terrific two-man game. Tony's such a threat from the perimeter, draws two defenders. You cannot forget about Yaxel, though.
Temple just 1 of 8 from 3. This is a team that came in at 37%, second best in the American. They just don't shoot a high rate of threes. Their main strength is getting to the free throw line. This has helped. Another offensive rebound. And Settle, who started his college career at Howard, was unable to cash in. Here's Vasquez. Tried to cross over, left the basketball behind.
Andy Kennedy just shakes his head. You got to understand there's a lot of traffic there. What's the advantage, disadvantage of trying to squeeze through that? Nothing.
Zoni can't knock it down, and it's rebounded by Jabari McGee. And Tony. And tip in Alejandro Vasquez, his first bucket of the game. He had a career-high 29 in the last matchup between these two, which came in the American Championship game last March.
I don't know that this is the smartest team Andy Kennedy's ever had in terms of backcourt, high IQ guys, but boy, do they play with a ton of energy and a big-time motor. I'd love to see that extra effort you see right there crashing the glass.
Settle swings it in the corner for Stanford. And it skips off the rim. Feels like a danger zone for Temple.
You're exactly right. This first few minutes I thought was key, and right now UAB is dominating.
Finger roll for Coleman falls off. Owls 0 for 5 to start the second half, including 0 for 2 from 3. Zoni into Lenneborg. Beautiful left-hand finish.
It's a nice spacing because they had Settle in that left ball side corner, so the help defender couldn't come off. Good drive and read.
He was a 4-star recruit coming out of Brewster Academy. Spent some time in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. He was the number 2 player in the state of PA. Christian Coleman into double figures now with 10.
A really good chemistry between Lenneborg and Coleman, especially against that zone. Good passing bigs that can see the floor well and work off one another.
UAB running primarily man here in the second half. And fighting down low. Stanford on Coleman. Fade away. No good. Temple does a really good job going to the free throw line. Tough to get to the line when you shoot fadeaways though.
Yeah, he got some spacing. I think you're also seeing some of the legs, not only the physical fatigue, but the mental fatigue that everything this Temple team has been through recently of trying to make up for Jamal Mashburn's loss.
Here's Coleman to Lenneborg. Another miss, but a follow. And a timeout taken by Temple after Jabbar loss in program history at the Garden, 110-67. And Wisconsin blew a lead. They're up 17 at one point, and Oregon just came back and ran them off the court. What a day in college basketball yesterday. What else stood out to you?
Well, I think some of the bowl teams taking care of business, and Wake Forest took a loss, but George Mason lost right after that, and that put him right back in the field.
Lenneborg tried to step through and get tied up. He'll go to the free throw line.
And some big bubble wins. You look at what Arkansas did, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt. And there are a ton of quality win opportunities if you're an SEC team. If you're someone like an ACC team, a lot of it is avoiding bad losses. But going back to that big Oregon win, I mean, that could be a seed line changer for a team like that to pick up a big road win.
Yeah, Adam Fisher, Temple's head coach, was an assistant to Micah Shrewsbury at Penn State. Shrewsbury got a big win at Notre Dame. They knocked off Pitt yesterday. Notre Dame not only was in need of a win, but Pitt sitting there as a bubble team took one they couldn't afford. Big Monday triple header includes North Carolina at Florida State to get the night started. Houston at Texas Tech in a top 10 showdown. And we close it with number 23 Kansas going into Boulder to take on Colorado.
Anxious to see how the Jayhawks respond. I mean, they've sort of hit rock bottom on their season, but a lot of times that can be a burn the boat situation where they all rally around one another and see if they can't turn a negative into a positive under Bill Self.
Got smoked midweek at BYU, and then Self against his alma mater found a win at home against Oklahoma State yesterday. Dylan Petit coming off the bench, got 5 points for Temple. Here's Jabari McGee. The veteran UAB team, a lot of experience on this squad. Picked to win the American coming into the season. McGee for three. Got it. And Dane, you think about where UAB is and the quality of this roster, just a little bit more consistency, and they are a tough out.
I think they've got multiple weapons, and that's what scares you if you're an opponent. You say, man, if we take this guy away, then this guy's going to beat us. Plenty of guys that can go off for well above double figures on this Blazers roster.
Gray is able to stroke it in from deep for his first bucket of the game. Elijah Gray, who's been in double digits 5 of the last 6 games.
This Temple team is not going away. A couple big shots there, but they've got to follow up a score with a stop on this end of the court.
Lindenberg tries to drive against his zone. Here's Toy. And tipped into Dezone's hand. Dezzone would pull it out with 17 on shot clock. Now with 10 to shoot. Off the glass and in. How about Petit's day?
I mean, you talk about staying ready for your opportunity. As they're shorthanded, another man gets a chance, and he has answered the bell for Coach Fisher in this squad.
How has the Temple zone been effective?
Well, I think it's made the Blazers a little bit stagnant. I think they need some second action. They're trying to ball screen the top of the zone, but if they don't get that, then what?
McGee with the lob inside. Petit was there, but Coleman missed 2 opportunities. Temple trying to find some offense late. Here's Lindenberg. He's on triple-double watch now. 7 boards, 7 assists, and he's going back to the free throw line to go with 11 points so far.
Have you ever seen him just get rushed? I feel like you just never see him get out of character.
It was kind of like you walking back from the bathroom at halftime while we're on the air. You're just kind of strolling up with your Dr. Pepper. You weren't rushed. I admire that about you.
Yes, you were on the air. I wasn't quite on the air with you yet, but you handled the front end. I sat down before the cameras came on. I made it. I was on time. If you go by the old adage, if you're not there 5 minutes early, you're late. Then I was definitely late.
Here's Lindenberg. There's only been 2 I should say, triple doubles in UAB history. 2009, Paul Delaney had 16 points, 10 boards, and 12 assists in a game against Tulane. And Alan Ogg did it back in 1988. So it kind of feels like you mentioned Yaxel Lindenberg never gets rushed. Of all the numbers that he puts up, he's a prime candidate for a triple-double.
He sure is. And when I first watched him on film, I wondered, like, does he have a little bit of a low motor? Is he playing hard? I think he just goes at his own pace, and he doesn't get rushed. And it's not so much that he takes possessions off. He's just very comfortable with his pace. He's going to make you play that way, and you're not going to speed him up.
Yaxel Lindenberg was the American Defensive Player of the Year last year. First team all conference, MVP of the American tournament, and had a school record 19 double doubles. And now he is a few boards or a few assists away from his 19th this year. As Wiro gathers his own miss and is able to cash in.
And again, because of the attention in the middle on Lindenberg, they get that look down low. And as Wiro's gotten a couple of those good finishes deep in the around the basket.
Zion Stanford pulls up. He is an elite mid-range shooter, but he just hasn't had much luck today. 5 of 16 is Stanford, and that includes 5 of 14 from 2. Touch pass into the corner, wide open for 3. Tony was smoking hot in the first half, not so much in the second. Beautiful finish by Elijah Gray, junior from Charlotte, who transferred in from Fordham.
Well, and on that one, the UAB front court did take a playoff. They did not sprint back in transition. They just started pointing, saying, take mine, and Temple made them pay.
All 5 for Gray have come since the intermission. Azuero faces up, 8 to shoot, and a blocking foul. Triple doubles in American history. Kevin Cross at Tulane has the last 2, both in December of 23, a back-to-back triple double.
What a great superstar to play with if you're a supporting cast member on this UAB team. I mean, he's not a selfish player, a very willing passer, as the evidence shows with the stats. And he's just happy for his teammates. And he brings so much attention that others get theirs in a variety of ways.
Alejandro Vasquez with the putback. 14 offensive rebounds have led to 20 second chance points for UAB. Owls trying to go high-low, and Sid Gray takes it himself. And he rolls it home. Elijah Gray's buckets have all come in the second half. He's got 7. And a double-double against Tulsa when he went for 10 and 10.
They can't afford to trade buckets, though. They've got to make UAB be one and done on this end. If they want any chance at having a last push in this game and keep it close the way they have every conference game, they've got to get a stop.
Lindenborg, no. There's a stop for Temple. Piccarelli, pardon me, finds the rebound and now pushes it and throws a pick. And then
career high last game, 24 points on 10 of 13 at Rice. One of the more wild finishes we've seen in all of college basketball this season. UAB stole one on the road.
Yeah,
thanks to him.
3-point shooter fouled in the act. Got a foul on a free throw, and then 2 missed free throws on the Rice end. That was a aggressive line, and Azuero going to the free throw line after he got a bump from Elijah Gray.
I love how aggressive he's been. 6'9", 265. He has just been bearing his man down low. I think for a second he thought he was on a 9-foot goal. He's ready to dunk this thing. But afterwards, he stays with it, gets himself to the line.
Senior from Torrance, California. 80% at the line on the season. He's 6'9", but he's got a 7-foot wingspan. Stuart Dolan settled back on the floor for Temple. It's a 6th foul against Temple this half. Blazers haven't committed one yet since the break. 16-point UAB lead. Temple has lost 4 straight. This was a Owls team that had a quality win at home against Memphis. Lindenborg with the block, Coleman, and into the front court, but now he flares out.
That's where that UAB defense can be confusing. When it goes to the middle, they go man to man, and Temple was caught off guard. Coleman with that nice shot block.
Vasquez shovels it off. Azuero blocked, but fouled.
Well, you'll see as they get the ball in the middle of the paint, then they switch man to man, and this becomes advantage UAB.
Here's Azuero to the free throw line. He's really been shooting the ball well lately, 61% over the last 3 games.
Seems like Andy Kennedy has really instructed his team. Hey, we were hot from 3 in the first half, but taking 14 threes in the first half, he's saying, I don't think we're going to want to take 28 for the game. And in this second half, they have only attempted 4 of their 18 shots from deep, and it's rewarded them with some really good paint production.
The 2 teams going in opposite directions, with Temple having lost 4 in a row, and UAB has won 5 of its last 6. Corner 3 good from Aiden Tobiasen.
I think they're going to have to start taking some of those, even if they're slightly contested. If you're going to get back in this thing, it's going to have to be your 3s right now against UAB's 2s.
Temple came in shooting 37% from deep, second best rate in the American. 9 minutes of play in regulation. Coleman Bad pass to Azuero. They just weren't on the same page.
It was open a few seconds earlier, and he realized he missed him. He said, well, I'm going to give it a shot anyway.
It's like playing with a delay. Here's Settle.
He's got him. Says, oh, you're open. Oh, I missed you. My bad. How about we try anyway?
Stanford with a hesitation. Gets cut off. Settle has really blossomed into a nice player. He draws a foul from Coleman. Steve Settle, the third, is a DeMatha man, but he barely played there. We're talking with Adam Fisher about that. He was recruiting some guys at DeMatha when he was at Miami, and he said, I know I saw the team. I'm not sure that I saw Steve Settle play, though. Really limited in his time there, so he went to Howard. 3 years at Howard, he was all-conference in the MEAC, and he has jumped his three-point rate from 37% to 46% with a 6'10", fifth-year senior.
Yeah, every percentage is up. Field goals, threes, free throws, all of them are up 10%. I can't tell you how uncommon that is this late in a career. He's a fifth-year guy. And we asked Coach Fisher, like, what changed? He said, you know, he's put in the work in the offseason. He's got his routine. One thing we did differently was have him, when he was getting shots in the gym, shooting over an arm bar. You know, one of those foam bars to really work on those contested shots. And now he's seeing nothing but the rim. When the defender's there, all he's seeing is the work he's put in the offseason. It has paid off tremendously.
Lindenborg kicks it outside, looking for another assist. And knocked away. It'll be Cherry basketball.
UAB bench can't believe it. He said, hey, Temple kicked the ball out of bounds on the crossover, yet it's going the other way.
Stanford the hesitation, and he has still yet to score this half, and now he's going to the free throw line. This is after Zion Stanford had an 11-point first half.
Well, empty possession on one end, getting to the free throw line on the other. It's slowly but surely, it's ugly, but Temple is staying within some sort of striking distance. And UAB is saying, look, these guys don't give up. You got to knock them out when you have the chance and try to extend this lead.
Let's see. Fourth personal on Christian Coleman. And now Zion Stanford, sophomore from Philly out of West Catholic, has another one coming. As Aguero returns, and Coleman will have to take a seat. Zion Stanford, two-time All-State, and helped West Catholic to their first state championship in school history, and ended up being fifth in program annals, over 1,100 points. 12-point deficit for Temple. Lindenborg's got another double-double. His 19th of the year. Guarded by Stanford. Gives it up. Moore back to Lindenborg. Two to shoot. Contested three. Good! Alejandro Vasquez had four hands in his face and still got it in.
Andy Kennedy likes to say we need timely buckets, and that was a timely three for Vasquez.
Poked away from Stanford. It'll be UAB 1s and 2s on the bubble. Indiana is currently blowing out Purdue, and a chance for the Hoosiers to be among the first four out with the win this afternoon in that rivalry game.
Two of those in there. Alabama, Tennessee face off next Saturday in Knoxville in what could be a flip-flop of 1 and 2 seeds. Big time matchup in the SEC.
Jabora McGee with the jump stop, and it's knocked out of bounds by Temple. 6:51 to play in regulation here. American has Memphis in good position. Penny Hardaway's team has really played well, but otherwise, with the sucking up of all the bids by the SEC specifically, American looking to be a bid thief to get two in. Yeah, needs somebody besides Memphis to win the tournament championship.
The metrics and numbers have not been in Memphis's favor, no matter how much of a win streak they go on, and when they lose. Nice shot there. But this is a Temple team I would not judge based on what you're seeing right now. Assuming Mashburn can get back, it could be a blessing in disguise that other guys develop as even better role players than they ordinarily would have been if he was fully healthy.
Lindborg got the rebound, but was unable to get the tipping. You think about it from a production standpoint, Jamal Mashburn Jr. is not only giving him 22 points a game, but he's playing 36 minutes a game. Stanford now has 15. So you've got to make up all of those minutes and all of those points. Obviously not one person could do it. Now they've cut it to 10.
And when you're a certain player, you're like, hey, I used to get open looks because all the attention was on this guy. Now I go from being a key player on the opponent's scouting report. That's an adjustment as well. But I can't say enough about the fight this Temple team has. Most teams, they'd be down 20 right now and would have tossed it in saying, man, it's just not going our way.
Lindborg for three at the end of the clock. Azuero with the offensive rebound finds McGee. And a no-look shot for McGee will turn into a chance for three.
I don't know if he's the best player on the court, but I think he's the best athlete on the court. This guy's got a 45-inch vertical, and this is such a difficult finish. He's going to take the contact and throw up a wild shot there and get the M1. That could be a dagger play for UAB.
Last year, South Plains Junior College, he was giving them 19 points, 4 assists a game. They went 32-3. And McGee was number 3 rated JUCO recruit in the country. It's a recruiting path that Andy Kennedy has followed here at UAB. Not afraid to take advantage of the JUCO route for a handful of players, including Christian Coleman, who was also at South Plains. Axel Lindborg was at Arizona Western. On the drive,
it's in this game. They're top 5 in the country at the offensive rebounding rate. So Temple's doing a good job on the offensive end. UAB not so much in terms of putting this game away.
Yep.
But right now, Temple's got to say, guys, it's not about the first shot. That's when the game begins for us. With 5 minutes to go, we got to have our best rebounding effort of the season if we want to try to make a comeback here.
Temple has played in a ton of close games. The Owls have lost 5 in a row, though. Azuero with the flush.
There's some skilled bigs in there. Interior passing. They're very comfortable with their bigs handling the ball in those situations.
Tobiasen gives it up. And the cross-court pass was a nutmeg, went right through the wickets on Dezzoni.
Well, just a nice catch here. It's a little bit low, but they find a way to gather it, pick it up, finish off 2. No wasted dribbles there. Azuero's really giving them some good minutes here. 9 points, 6 boards.
UAB at one point led by 18. And every time Temple has made a run, they've given it right back. Azuero again. He's got 11.
He's through, just the ultimate weapon for Andy Kennedy.
There's a foul on the inbounds for a hold. By the way, the last college basketball player with 9 straight double-doubles was Zach Edey last year for Purdue. Now tied for second in the country with 19 on the year, and he's 2 dimes away from a triple-double. Gray, no. Only been 2 triple-doubles in UAB history. And Lindborg set to check in at the next dead ball.
I like this look, kind of ball screen against the zone. See if they can't bury somebody down low.
8 to shoot. Here's Tony. And now McGee. Azuero trying to post up. 1 to shoot. Tony fires. Closer than it should have been, but another offensive rebound. 21st of the night. Coleman reverse and second chance bucket for Christian Coleman.
Yeah, that's just such a strength for them. They're 5th in the country, getting 39% of their misses, and that has been the difference in this game. No question about it.
26 second chance points for UAB on 40 missed shots. Dezzoni challenge three. And Coleman gave it up before he took it to the floor. It's a 6-0 UAB run as Aguero making an 8-0 run.
He has been just so good in this game. Brought a different level of physicality in the post.
Unless something happens in the next 2.5 minutes as Settle buries the three from the corner. This will be the 6th consecutive loss for Temple. And they've been hurt by poor shooting second halves, and not just second half, but also overtime. They missed their last 7 threes of the game against Charlotte on Wednesday.
Really seems like a classic UAB performance, though. Only 7 turnovers. They lead the league in fewest turnovers. Their efficiency on offense, and they get more possessions. They don't need it there with a tough 2. But this is a team that simply gets more possessions than you do by taking care of the ball and crashing the glass. And they share it really well, too. 2nd in assist rate. So the team effort on the offensive end.
Turnaround for Stanford. Zion Stanford's got 17. A game after his career high 26. Temple has a couple home games coming up. Tulsa midweek in Florida Atlantic. Pardon me. I'm way off of that schedule. They get South Florida at home, and then they go to Tulsa next Sunday. There's Aguero with the foul. 11 seconds. 1:20, I should say, left in regulation. Well, what do you do if you're Adam Fisher? I mean, you just kind of hanging by a thread waiting for Jamal Mashburn Jr. to get healthy. Missing your current starting point guard, Quante Berry.
I think at this point you're just staying positive with your team.
Oh my goodness. Bradley Aguero. He's got 15, and that will be an exclamation point for Andy Kennedy's team. 1 minute to play. Elijah Gray not going anywhere. All 9 in the second half for Gray. A step on the midcourt line.
Mentioned Aguero, how well he's played. He's got 12 of his 15 in the second half. So this is why this team's so dangerous. Tony dominated the first half with those 4 threes. He didn't make one in the second half, yet they've got other weapons. They found a way to make it a game from 2 instead of relying from 3 in the second half. Just a really good job by the supporting cast and game plan for UAB.
McGee got a little banged up, but back on his feet. Shot clock off. Strong finish for both teams offensively. Blazers have made their last 4. Owls have sunk their last 3. But Jabbar McGee will hold it, and UAB will find its 6th win in the last 7 games, sending Temple to its 6th consecutive loss. And they'll take UAB to 11-3 in conference play to keep pace with North Texas right in front of them, as UAB tries to hold on to one of the top 4 seeds in the American tournament. Andy Kennedy and Adam Fisher at midcourt. Blazers get this one. Another fantastic